In this segment, we will be making wild game fresh bratwurst, ready for the grill. We picked bratwurst for this segment because it has become one of America's favorite backyard and tailgate grilling sausages. Hundreds of recipes have been concocted that contain anything from apples, jalapenos to salsa. In this video, we will be making fresh beer and onion brats with High Country's Wisconsin-style bratwurst seasonings. Some of the spices in this blend are nutmeg, thyme, savory, and others. Most store-bought bratwurst are all pork sausages. The use of venison meat, however, transforms this sausage to be deliciously lean and meaty. High Country's Wisconsin-style bratwurst kit comes with a package of natural hog casings packed in salt. We remove these salt pack casings and soak them for about an hour in warm water to remove the salt. Now we're going to run warm water through the casings to flush out the internal salt and to open them up for use on the stuffing horn. It's good to have casings prepared to stuff so that we can steadily move from processing to stuffing and keep the meat very cold. Salt pack casings have a strong odor. It is not a sign of spoilage as one would think. When stuffed and cooked, this odor will dissipate and be unnoticeable. Store the unused casings in a salt brine or repack with salt in the original package.
Again, we are using a 20-pound meat block with 12 pounds of game, 8 pounds of pork trim that visually has about 50% fat. We'd like to have about a 20% fat content. When it comes to the game, you can have some connective tissue in this, that's fine, but you want to trim out heavy gristle, like from shanks and that type of meat. It's best to try to get good lean trim without the connective tissue. We're just going to mix all this together now, and we're going to grind all this through a 3/16 plate.
Our recipe calls for 1 1/3 cup of spice blend and 2 cups of water. As we said, we're going to be making beer and onion brats, so we're going to substitute beer for our water. Non-alcoholic beer can be used for this substitution. We are only interested in the flavor that the beer imparts to our sausage. Our onions are coarsely chopped, so we decided to add 2 cups to this 20 pounds of meat. We will add the spice first and distribute through the meat and follow with the beer and onions. In a fresh sausage, we are not interested in pulling a lot of protein. So just loosely mix the ingredients through the meat. When we're finished here, we're going to be ready to regrind our mixture and go immediately to stuffing.
We will use the bucket stuffer for this process, although we could as well have used the grinder with the stuffing horn. When filling the stuffer, assure that air gaps are worked out so that trapped air does not get into the casing while stuffing. When choosing a stuffing horn, it's best to pick the largest one that will fit the casing. What we'll do is we'll bring meat to the end of the stuffing horn so that we don't pump any air into the casing. All I'm going to do here is I'm going to scoop water into the casing for lubrication to get it on the horn, and we'll go ahead and stuff out a rope before we start to make links. We'll stuff out a couple of them, in fact. Go ahead, Chris. As I stuff, I can simply hold back on the casing to fill this. Since we're going to be linking, I'm going to be a little bit less inclined to hold it tight. I don't want to have it too tight since we are going to be pinching them and twisting them. Good. You can put all the water you want in. It just makes it easier for this casing to slide on and slide off. Looks like I've got a casing with a bit of a hole on one end there. I kind of like to pick up the casing, let water run down so that it continues to lubricate this as I slide it on. These are going on real nice. Go ahead. We got quite a bit yet. A good consistent flow of meat in this casing makes the links come out better too. That's good. There's a bit of a hole in that end there. Okay, to make links here, all we're going to do is pinch these, and we're going to give a couple spins. I'm going to skip a link and spin in the opposite direction. I didn't skip a link that time. Remember, all we're going to do here is we're going to be cutting these apart, and all we're trying to accomplish here is we're just trying to make links by twisting and tightening the casing around the meat. Even this little one here is fine. It'll make a good link. I'll do another one here quick. If you do have some irregularities in this casing, you can just go ahead and mend it and smoothen it out a little bit. That helps. And then sometimes you can just go ahead and turn the casing or twist the casing a little bit more. That's good. All right, now we have links.
Bratwurst can be refrigerated for about 5 or 6 days, but should be packaged and frozen for longer storage. It helps to firm up the sausage in the freezer by laying the links out on a cookie sheet or a cake pan for a couple hours before packaging. Identify, date, and wrap enough for a meal or the amount that will be consumed in a week with lined butcher paper.